It is 6:17 a.m. The Yellow Sea, 190 nautical miles east of the Shandong Peninsula, in international airspace that no treaty, no diplomatic note, and no unilateral Chinese declaration has ever successfully restricted from use by any nation's aircraft exercising their internationally recognized rights of overflight. The sky at 26,000 feet is a hard, cold blue. Temperature at altitude minus 31 degrees Celsius. Wind from the northwest at 44 knots. Visibility unlimited in every direction. Below, the Yellow Sea is a steel-gray expanse running roughly 70 meters deep, shallow enough to be one of the most acoustically complex bodies of water in the Western Pacific, and strategically significant enough that China has spent 2 decades trying to establish a narrative that this particular patch of international airspace is, by some legal reasoning, that no court outside Beijing has ever endorsed, subject to Chinese sovereignty. That narrative requires enforcement. And enforcement, in the gray zone vocabulary of the People's Liberation Army Air Force, means fighters. A United States Air Force RC-135V, Rivet Joint Reconnaissance Aircraft from the 55th Wing, currently forward deployed to Kadena Air Base in Okinawa, has been on station in this airspace for 2 hours and 41 minutes. She is flying a racetrack pattern at 26,000 feet, her 12 specialized crew members, electronic intelligence collection operators, signals intelligence analysts, and systems operators whose specific job titles are classified, but whose general function is well understood, working the sensor suite with the methodical, unhurried professionalism of people who have been doing this work in this airspace for their entire careers. The RC-135V is not a glamorous aircraft. It is a Boeing 707 airframe stuffed with the most sophisticated airborne signals intelligence collection equipment ever installed in a reconnaissance platform, a system whose capabilities are classified, but whose general parameters include the ability to detect, locate, characterize, and record virtually every military radar, communication system, and electronic emission currently operated by the People's Liberation Army within its sensor horizon. It is, in the unglamorous but strategically essential vocabulary of intelligence collection, a vacuum cleaner for information about Chinese military capabilities. And it is operating in exactly the airspace where Chinese military electronic activity is most concentrated and most sensitive. The RC-135V does not carry weapons. It carries sensors. It is not a fighter. It is not a threat to any Chinese military asset in any physical sense. What it threatens is information security, the gap between what China knows about American knowledge of its military capabilities and what the RC-135V's crew is methodically closing with every hour of collection. This is why the PLAAF sends fighters. Not because the RC-135V will shoot at them. Because its presence, its patience, and its sensors are gathering data that Beijing would prefer remained uncollected. At 6:17 a.m., the RC-135V's own electronic warfare receivers, the AN/ALR 46 radar warning system, and the more capable classified passive detection suite installed during the most recent avionics upgrade, detected 2 new radar emitters activating to the west. The emission profiles returned identifications within 11 seconds. KLJ-10A AESA radar, 2 emitters, the fire control radar installed in the Chengdu J-10C Vigorous Dragon, China's most modern single-engine multi-role fighter, a domestically designed and produced aircraft that the PLAAF has been fielding in growing numbers since 2018, and that Chinese state media has enthusiastically described as China's answer to the American F-16 Fighter Block 70. The two J-10Cs were climbing through 18,000 feet from Lishan Air Base on the Shandong Peninsula, bearing 278, range 140 nautical miles, on an intercept vector calculated to bring them alongside the RC-135V's racetrack pattern within approximately 14 minutes. The RC-135V's aircraft commander, a lieutenant colonel with 16 years in special reconnaissance, who has flown this collection mission in this airspace more times than she can immediately recall, made two quick assessments when the EW operator called out the contacts. First, J-10C intercept, standard harassment profile, consistent with 14 previous PLAAF intercepts of R C-135 missions in this area over the last 3 years. Second, the KLJ-10A activation at 140 miles indicated the J-10Cs had turned their fire control radar on well before they were in any position to conduct an intercept, which meant they wanted the RC-135V crew to know they were coming, which meant this was theater. Deliberate theater, with a script performed for whatever camera the PLAAF was carrying on its lead aircraft. She keyed her interphone. EW, keep logging everything. Comms, get Kadena on the secure channel. Intel, you know what to do. Then she maintained her racetrack pattern without altering a single parameter of her flight profile. The J-10C deserves a technical examination because Chinese state media's enthusiasm for it exceeds its actual operational capabilities in ways that matter significantly in the context of this morning's intercept. The J-10C is a genuine fourth-generation multi-role fighter, a real aircraft, not a propaganda fabrication, with a meaningful radar, a capable weapons suite, and flight performance that places it in the same general category as comparable Western fourth-generation designs. Its KLJ-10A AESA radar represents a genuine advance over the mechanically scanned radar of earlier J-10 variants, achieving reasonable track-while scan capability and electronic countermeasures performance. The J-10C carries the PL-15 Beyond Visual Range air-to-air missile, a weapon with a claimed range that Chinese state media has described as exceeding 200 kilometers, making it comparable to or superior to the American AIM-120D. These things are, in a general sense, true. Here is what is also true. The J-10C is powered by the WS-10B Taihang engine, a Chinese domestic turbofan that has been in development since the 1980s and has experienced reliability challenges that have, at various points in its development history, been described by Chinese aviation journalists as serious. Production J-10Cs are fitted with the WS-10B, but the engine's thrust-to-weight ratio and specific fuel consumption do not match the performance envelope of the AL-31F Russian turbofan that earlier J-10 variants used. The J-10C cannot supercruise. It cannot sustain supersonic flight without afterburner. Against a target that does not maneuver, against an RC-135V flying a straight racetrack at 26,000 feet, this limitation is irrelevant. Against a threat environment that includes American fifth-generation fighters, which the J-10C will encounter if this intercept goes anywhere beyond harassment, it is operationally significant in ways that WS-10B, thrust numbers do not fully capture the J-10C's cockpit situational awareness architecture, the large format color multifunction displays, the helmet-mounted sight, the data link capability that allows the two aircraft to share a tactical picture, is modern and capable. What it is not sharing this morning, because no such capability exists within the formation, is a complete picture of the electronic order of battle in the airspace around the two fighters. The J-10Cs know where the RC-135V is. They are flying directly toward it with fire control radar active. What they do not know, what their own sensors are not showing them, because the assets responsible for the gap in their picture are not emitting anything detectable, is that the airspace northeast of their current position, at an altitude 11,000 feet above them, contains two F-22A Raptors from the 90th Fighter Squadron that have been in station since 5:49 a.m. The F-22s launched from Kadena 28 minutes before the RC-135V's current intercept alert. They are not here by coincidence. Every RC-135 mission in this airspace for the past 14 months has been covered by a fighter escort package whose composition and position are chosen specifically to be present without being detected. To be the answer to a problem the adversary does not yet know it has. The F-22 escort is not advertised. It does not squawk on publicly monitored frequencies. Its radar operates in low probability-of-intercept modes that generate tracking quality data on the surrounding airspace without producing detectable emissions that the J-10C's radar warning receivers would flag. The F-22s know exactly where the J-10Cs are. The J-10Cs do not know where the F-22s are. This asymmetry, complete situational awareness on one side, a significant gap on the other, is not an accident. It is the product of a specific engineering philosophy and a specific operational investment that the United States has been making for 30 years. The F-22 was designed to operate in this exact relationship to fourth-generation adversaries: present, lethal, informed, and invisible until the moment that invisibility serves the mission better than revelation. This morning, for 14 minutes and 23 seconds from the F-22's arrival on station to the moment the J-10Cs reach their intercept position, that invisibility has been complete. The J-10Cs arrived alongside the RC-135V at 6:31 a.m. The lead aircraft positioned itself 400 meters off the reconnaissance plane's left wing. Its KLJ-10A radar painting, the Boeing 707 airframe, with a targeting quality track at point-blank range. The wingman took position 600 meters off the right wing. The formation, two fighters bracketing a single unarmed reconnaissance aircraft, was designed to communicate encirclement, to produce the visual impression of vulnerability that PLAAF harassment doctrine has found to be the most effective way of inducing American reconnaissance aircraft to alter their patterns. The lead J-10C transmitted on the International Emergency Frequency. The American aircraft was operating in airspace under Chinese jurisdiction. It was required to identify itself and depart immediately. Its continued presence would be considered a hostile act. The RC-135V's aircraft commander did not respond to the transmission. She maintained her heading, her altitude, and her airspeed with the complete equanimity of an officer who has received this transmission, or a version of it, on 14 previous occasions. and whose response has always been the same: continue the mission. Her electronic warfare operators, meanwhile, were recording every emission from both J-10Cs with the comprehensive, systematic thoroughness that the RC-135V's sensor suite is specifically designed to achieve. The KLJ-10A radar at 400 meters was providing the most detailed close-range emission profile of that system ever collected. The data link emissions from the PLAAF command and control network managing the intercept were being logged with timestamp precision. The J-10Cs had come to intimidate an intelligence collection platform and were providing it with the most productive 6 minutes of collection data in the mission profile. At 6:33 a.m., the lead F-22 pilot made a decision. The J-10C's 400-meter wing position inside the standard safety buffer that international aviation protocols establish for military intercepts had been maintained for 2 minutes and was showing no sign of increasing to a safer distance. The wingman had made 2 closure maneuvers that the RC-135V crew had logged as safety of flight hazards. The decision was not to fire. The decision was to be seen. The lead F-22 activated its IFF transponder on the U.S. military mode code at 6:33:14 a.m. The transponder signal was squawking the correct identification, and it was coming from bearing 022 relative to the lead J-10C, elevation high, range 18 nautical miles. The J-10C's radar warning receiver registered the IFF mode code transmission. The lead J-10C pilot understood what it meant: an American military aircraft 18 miles away at high altitude, in a position that was behind and above both Chinese fighters. An aircraft his radar had not shown him. An aircraft that had been there for an unknown period of time. He queried his wingman. His wingman confirmed: same IFF signal, same bearing, same elevation. 2 F-22 transponder codes from slightly different bearings, 022 and 031, indicating 2 aircraft in a spread formation above and behind the J-10Cs. His KLJ-10A swept the bearing aggressively. Nothing on radar. The F-22s were not emitting any radar energy that his detection systems could locate. They were there. The IFF said they were there. But his radar was showing him empty sky. At 6:33:44 a.m., the lead F-22 activated its AN/APG 77 radar in a single 0.6-second burst of low probability of intercept energy, directed at the lead J-10C. The burst was too brief for a precise direction-finding solution, but long enough for the J-10C's radar warning receiver to classify the emission. AN/APG-77 F-22 Raptor fire control radar, bearing 022, range estimated 16 nautical miles. In 30 seconds, 2 F-22s had moved from 18 miles to 16 miles. They were closing. In the universal language of aerial combat, the message required no translation. 2 F-22s had been in this airspace before the J-10Cs arrived. They had been tracking the J-10Cs for their entire approach. They had fire control quality solutions on both Chinese aircraft and had chosen, until this moment, not to reveal themselves. Now they were revealing themselves, not aggressively, not with weapons employment indicators, but with the specific, controlled revelation of an adversary that wants you to understand your situation precisely. You have been inside our engagement envelope for longer than you know. We are informing you of this fact now, in the manner we consider appropriate. and the next decision is yours. The lead J-10C broke left at 6:33:51 a.m. 7 seconds after the AN/APG 77 pulse. His wingman broke right simultaneously, either on a pre-planned emergency egress signal or simply by reading the same electromagnetic picture and drawing the same conclusion. Both aircraft went to afterburner, the WS-10B engines producing their characteristic thermal bloom that the F-22SAN/AAR-56 missile approach warning sensors had been passively tracking since the J-10CS arrived at the RC-135V's altitude. Both fighters climbed and accelerated, opening from the RC-135V's position at better than 500 knots on diverging westward headings. By 6:35:30 a.m., both J-10Cs were 12 nautical miles west of the RC-135V and increasing range. By 6:38 a.m., they were hull down over the radar horizon, heading back toward Lishan. The RC-135V maintained her racetrack pattern. She completed 2 more full orbits of her collection box before departing the area on her planned schedule at 7:44 a.m. The sensor suite had been running continuously throughout the entire intercept. The electronic intelligence package she carried back to Kadena contained, in addition to the mission's pre-planned collection objectives, a complete emission profile of 2 J-10C KLJ-10A radars at close range, a detailed record of the PLAAF command and control communications managing the intercept, the J-10C's data link architecture during a harassment evolution, and the precise timeline of their behavioral response to F-22 revelation, 7 seconds from AN/APG 77 pulse to J-10C breakoff, 7 seconds. That behavioral response time would be added to the threat library for future mission planning. The J-10C is China's most numerous modern fighter. The PLAAF fields it in quantity, operates it across multiple theater commands, and has invested heavily in the pilot training and maintenance infrastructure that a large, capable fighter force requires. Chinese state media presents the J-10C as evidence of China's indigenous aerospace achievement, a fighter designed and built in China, not purchased from Russia, representing a coming of age for China's defense industrial base. The presentation is not entirely wrong. The J-10C is a genuine indigenous achievement, and the engineers who designed it and the pilots who fly it deserve credit for what they have accomplished. What the presentation does not acknowledge is this: a J-10C carrying a KLJ-10A AESA radar that sweeps aggressively through a sector where 2 F-22s are operating and returns empty sky is not evidence of Chinese radar capability. It is evidence of the specific, fundamental, physics-grounded gap between a 4th-generation fire control radar and a 5th-generation aircraft designed from its first drawing to be undetectable by exactly that category of sensor. The F-22 was not surprised by the J-10Cs this morning. Its AN/APG 77 had been tracking them since before they reached the RC-135V. The J-10Cs were surprised by the F-22s, and their response, a 7-second breakoff, afterburner climb, rapid egress, told the F-22 crews, the RC-135V crew, the analysts at Kadena who would review the sensor logs, and anyone else who understood what the data said, exactly how the engagement calculus looked from inside a Chinese fighter cockpit the moment American 5th-generation aircraft stopped being invisible. The Yellow Sea is international airspace. the RC-135V collected her data. The F-22s escorted her home, and 2 J-10Cs returned to Laishan with footage that Chinese state media will not broadcast because footage of Chinese fighters retreating at afterburner from a position alongside an unarmed reconnaissance aircraft is not the narrative that the PLAAF harassment doctrine is designed to produce. China's best fighter couldn't find what was watching it. The RC-135V finished the mission. The Yellow Sea remains exactly what international law says it is. Bye for now.